Glad you could join us. The human rights campaigners are asking governments to extradite former Gambian leader Yahya Jammeh to Ghana for his role in the killing of 56 migrants, including 44 Ghanaians in 2005. A 2008 ECOWAS inquiry into the murders concluded the 56 were killed by rogue elements in the Gambian military. The human rights group, however, says it has uncovered fresh evidence which shows the crimes were state-sponsored. 2 years after Mr. Jammeh's overthrow, Joy News' Justice Bedu traveled to the Gambia to find out more. Here's this report.
And I heard a shout from the back there, "Oh God, save us! Oh God, save us! Eradigio, Eradigio!" And gunshot follows. Pow, 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 pow. Then I stopped. These people has been killed.
Martin Chue dreamt of a better life in Europe, but that would remain only a dream. He and 56 others were caught up in one of the most brutal massacres under Yahya Jammeh. Now he is the lone voice fighting for justice.
So, okay, they are going to kill us. Everybody was crying. Everybody was crying. So we left from that road to the forest where the pickup finds its way through the forest, and we get to a valley, and I try to get off my hand from the wire, and I said, "Hey guys, my hand is off." And they said, "Okay, it's God who wants to save you so that you can tell the world how and why Jammeh have killed us. You should tell our people that we are not able to make it. We are dying, we are here. They should pray for us." So while the pickup was about to stop, I jumped from the pickup. Bam! And I heard back there, "Who is that?" But I did not look back. I decided to jump. 1, 2, 3, about 4 steps. I was tied by something in the forest there, and it brought me down. Then the gunshot passed over me. Everywhere, bullets, everywhere. So I decided to relax small. So they take another direction and shooting there. So I just wake myself up, and I heard a shout from the back there, "Oh God, save us! Oh God, save us! Eradigio, Eradigio!" And gunshot follows. Then I stopped. These people has been killed.
The riverine coastlines of Gambia is one of its most treasured tourist attractions. Yet it was inside the forests that cover it that some of the worst forms of atrocity committed under its former dictator happened. Among the 56 murdered in cold blood, 44 Ghanaians. Paul Ewua, Kwabena Fosu, Isaac Asante, the list goes on and on. They all have names, even though some were never identified. After 13 years, what remains are the many unanswered questions about who ordered their massacre.
Here, this is where the story began, here in Sali in Senegal. This is where the migrants
Human Rights Watch has spent more than a year investigating how the killings happened, but
they landed here in Barra. A former jungler who left the team in 2010 and went into hiding spoke to the radio for hours, and we have transcribed that, translated that into English. And that jungler talks about that killing. And he says, "We took our orders from the president." There's another jungler that is in detention right now in the Gambia who has said exactly the same thing. The jungler we talked to has also confirmed this. And there are many other insiders who could confirm that the killing happened, that junglers were only responding to orders from the president. So it would be very difficult to deny such strong evidence.
Out on the streets of Banjul, the Gambian capital, signs of a nation healing wounds from 22 years under a junta leader who ruled with an iron fist. Others Victim Support Center, some of the people who lived the horrors of Jammeh have come to share their stories and look for help. Adama Conte's husband was also killed in 2005. She was pregnant then. Now with a 13-year-old fatherless daughter, she too is calling for justice.
I am appealing to the Ghanaian government to help the Gambia get justice for their families, since all the Ghanaians were killed in Gambia. Also, my husband was part of them, so we need justice now in Ghana or anywhere else.
We need bugan injustice there. Gambia or Ghana, bugan injustice.
We will face him in court because we want justice. And he also wants justice.
Yaya Jammeh is currently in exile in Equatorial Guinea under the protection of his one-time friend and fellow strongman Obiang Nguema Mbasongo. Mr. Jammeh and his rogue regime have evaded justice for 13 years. Now, with this fresh evidence, it seems there is enough fodder for another attempt to bring closure to this matter. Justice Bedu, Joy News, Banjul, Gambia.
Now, the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, has blamed delayed action by regulatory bodies for Tuesday's Trinity gas filling station fire in Kumasi. NADMO says its recommendation for the closure of that gas station at Krofrom were not heeded. 2 people are dead and 1 is in critical condition at that hospital. Here's NADMO coordinator in Kumasi, Mr. Nsintre, when the incident occurred.
I have been here, and I wrote to the assembly that this place is not appropriate for the gas station here, and I was waiting for a response. You know, look at the opposite side. I came there purposely to, enact that place and that they should demolish all these places. So the bottom line is on the assembly.
Now, on the phone with us to help us appreciate the concern of NADMO is the Director of Environmental Protection Agency in the Ashanti region, Samuel Oteng. Mr. Oteng, did you receive this recommendation from NADMO for the facility to be closed down? If yes, why was it not closed down till now?
No, we have not got any communication or letter or directive from that. No, we have not. What we are aware is when last year, when we went around with the Honorable Minister, we went to about 13 facilities. I think 2 of them were immediately closed down, and the rest had some difficult problems, including this one. So there was directive for the instructions that those ones the stations should submit their regulatory permit, including EPA, National Petroleum Authority, and what have you. Then the federal instruction was that after, if it is submitted and the permit is valid, it should not be released after it has expired. And of course, EPA at that time, their permit was about expiring. We went there last year, October. The permit was going to expire in May. So after May, when the permit expired, we have not renewed it. That is what I can say about it.
You said you had a challenge with their permits, including this station. You asked them to resubmit the permit. They have not. When was this?
We have it on our file. Our permit to the station was expiring in May this year, which it has expired, and we have not renewed it.
So why were they still in operation?
Sorry?
Why were they still in operation?
Yes, probably you can talk to the other regulatory agencies whose permit has not expired, and maybe you know the status with the date that this permit was going to expire.
But no matter what the status with the other stations were, or the other regulatory agencies were, as far as the EPA was concerned, this was not being regulated.
The permit expired in May. That's what I told you.
So why were they in operation?
So it was not renewed. You know, we were waiting for the outcome or the report from the National Petroleum Authority with regard to the cylinder recirculation policy. So because of that, there was no way we were going to renew it. And I think under the system, the National Petroleum Authority went on with the station, and probably they knew which of them were classified as high rate, which of them were classified as low rate, and which of them was going to be rolled out in the new model where it would be a collection point. So they were going to indicate that.
No,
and I think it is out of date. That is why we didn't go further to anything. So I think that issue rests with the MPA whether that station was going to be rolled out as part of the cylinder recirculation.
I'm not asking about the plans, Mr. Oteng. I'm not asking about the plans relating to the cylinder recirculation module or the reclassification of gas stations by the NPA. What I am asking is that this station was uncertified on your books as far back as May. Why are they still in operation?
No, I think you are not getting what I'm saying.
I'm not.
As simple that once the permit has expired, it means we're going to. That was not the issue. The issue was that there were other equally regulatory agencies that are also permitted. And EPA was among those regulatory agencies. That's what I'm telling you. So I didn't know whether the fire permit has expired, whether the National Petroleum Authority permit has expired, whether other ones has expired. That's why I didn't know.
If a station is operating without the EPA permit, is it not within your power to take any sanction possible?
That is what I was telling you, that because of the impending program for the NPA to decide the high risk and the low risk. So there was a need for us to wait the report from them before we go ahead, either to renew or to wait for them to roll out that policy. That is why it was like that.
So you deliberately decided not to give a permit because you were waiting on the action being taken by the NPA?
Yeah, under the circumstances.
Does that mean that there are other stations out there which are operating without a permit because we are waiting for the NPA to classify them?
Yeah, this is a whole policy that is going to be rolled out by National Petroleum. So it is better you fashion your operational methodology or operational system into that policy, because policy has to be enhanced or have to be embraced by all. Because it is going to take away most of the risk.
How many stations like this are there?
To get involved in that policy, so that if for example, if we are going to renew, our permit is running for 18 months. If we are going to renew it, it was going to carry us maybe 2020 or something. Then next year, or maybe next month or two, the NBA comes out, it's a high rate. So it's going to be a bottling edition. Then what were you going to do with it? So
but for your permit, Mr. Oteng, sorry, your permit ensures the safety of residents every day, so that it is essential for us to be assured that these persons are taking the right steps so that they can interact with the environment well. Can we hold on to that activity and wait for the reclassification of gas stations?
Yes, I think the NPA was in touch with the station. They were still doing the analysis. And some of them, you can talk to them, they will bear witness with it.
At the time that stations do not have, Mr. Oteng, sorry, at the time that stations do not have your permit, would you say citizens are safe?
Would I say what?
Citizens are safe. If there are stations operating without your permit, would you say that citizens of Ghana are safe?
I don't get the point.
I am saying that the EPA gives out permits to ensure that these stations properly interact with the environment well. Ultimately, we are aiming for the safety of citizens. I am asking that when the stations do not have permits, are citizens safe?
The issue is we do interact with the stations, the managers, the attendants, the operators, the supervisors, the owners, all the time, all geared towards keeping a very safe environment and also making sure that the safety of the people are assured. So most of the time, even before this thing happened, we have really scheduled a meeting with all that is in the region.
When was the last time you had such a meeting with the operators of Prime Gas? You say you scheduled a meeting. So when was the last time you had a meeting with the operators of Prime Gas Station?
We go to the station all the time.
Mr. Oteng, when was the last time you had a meeting with the operators of Prime Gas?
With the operators of Prime Gas?
Yes.
My officers go around. The last time I think we did the monitoring, very extensive one. They went to all the stations. It was last 2 months. Yes.
So we are on November now. So that's October, and that is September.
Yes.
And by your records, when you went to do monitoring, how were their sealing activities? That is
what I'm telling you, that because of the reclassification and the safety audit that the National Petroleum Authority and other allied agencies were doing, we were just following that event to see whether that classification was going to capture it, and we know moving forward where to go.
I'm not talking about the location of the site.
We did not renew the environmental permit. Vis-a-vis what the directive, when we went around with the minister, what we saw and what we thought could be the way out. So I think we have to bear with that. The whole understanding is that you can get that classification from the National Petroleum Authority.
Okay. The last time you inspected Prime Gas was in September. The question I asked was that, did you find anything untoward with their activities whilst we were waiting for classification to give permits?
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Nto. Mr. Oting, sorry,
yes,
you're on air.
Yes, you're lying. I think I was not here.
Right. I was asking,
what
specifically did we observe when we visited Prime Gas in September?
The officers visited all the gases,
including Prime Gas,
and came out with a very good report. The issue is that specifically, because I'm not in the office, probably I may have to check specifically what the issue was. But what I can tell you is, I remember that it was mentioned that there were some activities that are emerging around the area, which means that we needed to take a very serious note of it. Not only relating to only that. Most of the places, when we visit the site, when the officers visit the site, there are certain key things that you also look at. The sprinklers. And there was also a suggestion or a relative that at any point that you do in a maintenance and there is gas in the vessel, you should make sure that you are waiting. Number two, when you are going to do set work, and even there's a little gas or whatever it is, you should make sure that you have the fire tender there. Then also, when they are going to discharge from the tankers, you should make sure that the fire service is there with their tender. So the least spark, they can easily control it. So these are some of the directives that we're giving to the stations, including this particular station.
Thank you, Mr. Samuel Oting, for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Samuel Oting, for joining us. He is the Ashanti Region Director for the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. Meanwhile, the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, has debunked the claims by the Ashanti Region NADMO coordinator. Here's NPA boss Al-Hassan Tampuli.
But for now, the immediate triggers we are told that there was some amount of leakage, and then there was a forecourt attendant who, obviously untrained, attempted to fix the problem, while in the process they were still dispensing with LPG to customers and vehicles that consume gas. So the gas is always looking for a source of flame. So as it is traveling, obviously as it goes across, definitely you're going to have some kind of explosion. So three things will happen when you're going to have explosion: oxygen in circulation, an escape of gas, and then a source of flame. The three coincided. I'm sure that's the result of what we've seen today.
You're a little bit concerned with regard to the issue of high-risk areas. Can you stretch more on this particular issue?
So I think that the issue of high risk is that the high risk, possibly the medium risk stations, are going to be transformed into cylinder exchange points when we roll out the cylinder recirculation model. Now, in the process, we have identified some shortcomings, including engineering shortcomings. Now, you can have all the best installations here at a station, but if we come there and you don't have an EPA permit, KMA has not given you building and development permits, fire service has not given you permits, we'll close down the station. So apart from
So that was Hassan Tampuli. He was speaking this morning after an inspection of the site for the explosion and fire in Kofrom Kumasi Prime Gas Station. Now moving on, Asokore Mampong Municipal Chief Executive says the investigative report on the 7 young men killed by police for suspected robbery has cleared them of the negative tag. Ali Duseidu says the outcome brings a huge relief to the community. Government on Monday released a statement based on the committee reports that found no evidence of robbery. The MCE spoke to Love News on the sidelines of a town hall meeting.
The only thing we need to say is to thank Almighty God and thank His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. You remember on the 17th of July 2018, that day was our executive committee meeting day. We had a meeting from morning till about 4:30 thereabout. Right after the meeting, we had an information that 7 people were gunned down at Mason Kwanta. When we started receiving pictures, where we were able to identify about 3-4 people, I said that no, I wasn't at Mason Kwanta, but the people I know with the pictures that I see, I can bear my chest out and say they are not armed robbers. 30 minutes after the incident, I said it clear. There was a whole lot of talks as far as what I said was concerned. But today I feel very vindicated, and it has come to also explain itself. A whole number of people went before the committee to go and testify. After all, today we feel vindicated that they were not armed robbers, and nothing shows that they were armed robbers. On the basis of that, even having that tag of armed robbery taken away from them, lifted on them alone, gives the community a relief.
The MCE added the developments boosts confidence in the justice system.
As the report has come out, they've been interdicted. Of course, I know the law shows what to be done after. They also have a way of coming or wherever, if there is an avenue for them to come in to clear themselves. I think that all these avenues are there, and we need to exhaust all the available avenues before we can say anything. But I can tell you today that the community has no problem with the police. The police can come in and do their work. We have confidence in the administration of the state today that irrespective of your status, when you do anything, the law will take its own course on you.
Still watching Joy News today with me, Daniel Daze. Still to come, President Akufo-Addo and some NPP executives commiserate with family of late MP for Ayawaso West Wogon, Emmanuel Tremanting Ejako. All that and more coming up shortly. Thanks for staying with us. This is Joy News Today. Now, President Akufo-Addo has been commiserating with the family of the late MP for Ayawaso West Wogon, Emmanuel Tremanting Ejako, accompanied by Ministers of Energy and Trade, National Chairman of the NPP and other party executives. President Akufo-Addo, through a spokesperson, expressed condolence to the bereaved family. Board Chairman of the National Youth Employment Agency and NPP National Organizer, Samir Oku, spoke on behalf of government.
The Minister for Energy, Deputy Chief of Staff, National Women Organizer, myself, National Organizer, and the rest of the NPP family decided to pay Madam a visit to find out, first of all, and inquire if what Mr. President and the NPP family heard last night was indeed the truth and the reality. And then we can proceed from there. So that's why you have this morning Mr. President here together with his delegation. He was on his way to Somenya to begin a 16 regional tour, but decided to inquire first if what he heard last night is true. and then we can proceed with the rest of our message.
Now, Minister for Energy Peter Amewu and National Chairman of the NPP, Freddie Blay, have also been sharing their fondest memories of the late MP.
Your memories of Mr. Ejakun?
Well, the gentleman working for you by name, that's how we call each other, has been a very good friend. We go beyond politics. It's a mentor, a father. It's a man who thinks not only of today but future, good advisor. And we lost something great, especially in this party. The way he fought for the constituency, managed to take the constituency a number of times. It's something that, in fact, I can't just mention what this party is losing at this very painful period of our time.
How did the news hit you?
Well, it was quite surprising. The wife called me around 5:30 yesterday. And in fact, I was aware about the illness right down from Kolebut when he was flown to the United States of America. So we've been following development. But yesterday, when we got the news after 5 o'clock, it was quite shocking and surprising.
And this is coming when the country is about to celebrate Christmas.
Well, I mean, when God gives and God says, I'm taking my thing back, it's very difficult to say no. So we just have to give thanks to the Almighty God. But it's important, and the consolation for the family to remember is that every journey has got an end.
Memories of our late MP?
A very jovial, extremely engaging personality. He's a nice guy to be with. He's a good representative of his constituencies, a family man, nice man. I'm personally very, very sorry and very extremely devastated that this man serving his community is just passed away.
Clearly a big loss for the party.
It's a big blow to the party. Not just a loss, a big blow to the party.
So for the rank and file of the party, what will be your message for them as they grieve over his loss?
Sympathize with him. We should express our sympathy. We should mourn with the family and pray for God to keep him in his bosom till we meet again.
May the soul of the late MP rest in peace. You're still watching Joy News today, but it's time for business with Sandra Esenamapenu.